everybody, and welcome again to Live TV. Our guest today comes from the Middle East and exactly from Oman. He worked over 30 years in Sultan Qaboos University in the Sultanate of Oman. He decided to come here, Queensland, Australia, to complete his higher education. He is enjoying his life here in Queensland, as he decided to do his PhD research in the University of Queensland. Today, we are interviewing him as the head of the Omani Society group here in Queensland.
Can you briefly introduce yourself, please?
My name is Khalid Al-Saadi. I am from Oman, and I've been working in the University of Sultan Qaboos in Oman for the last 13 years. And I've been working in the College of Education as a lecturer in the technologies and learning. And then I decided to pursue my higher education in Australia, University of Queensland, and I'm currently doing a PhD in technology integration among higher education teacher educators.
Thank you. Well, we'll come back to that area of interest, but let's start with being head of Omani Society here in Brisbane. Can you just briefly talk about your experience as a head of the society, please?
Well, I have become the president of this society in July last year, and since then I have been enjoying what I'm doing. So the whole concept of the Omani Society is organizing activities that can bring the Omani students being in Queensland together. And these activities, they range from socializing in gatherings or conducting presentations or doing some workshops or sometimes, acting and drama and having some entertainment activities for the nights.
What do you think about being a head of this society? Don't you see a conflict between your task as a head of this society and your study? Because you're doing, I think, the PhD.
PhD, yes, I am. Well, I think for me, it's not really that difficult. Yes, it does consume a lot of my time, but I believe with organization and managing time, things can work. So I have heavy load of study as well as organizing lots of activities. But one of the things that I always try to apply in keeping the rhythm between the two is like sharing the responsibilities with the others. So part of it is we agreed as a group that we work as a group and we work as a team. So each one is doing something, each one is complementing the other, and by this way is like we're sharing responsibilities where no one is spending most of the time doing the jobs themselves.
Well, is it active enough from your perspective?
Well, I think it's going well to some extent. I have to bear in mind that students have a lot of studies and some of them have families, but from the beginning we already agreed that we work on the quality. So we are more concentrating on the quality rather than the quantity. And as I said, because it's group shared activities, so that does take the burden away, like everyone is doing something. And personally, I am happy, and I think it's becoming and getting together.
You mentioned at the beginning of the interview about your study, that you studied PhD now on technology and education. So can you just please elaborate on that? What's the main area you are studying at or researching at?
My study is about investigating the effects of community or practice on the effective integration of technology among teacher educators. So then I found using the elements of community practice is like a model of learning where where group of people sharing the same concern try to help each others become together. So part of it is mutual engagement and developing relationships and enhancing practice and enhancing knowledge. So I thought this would be, a good investment for me in this group, is like to practice my knowledge of the PhD that I'm doing on this group and try to help them to become better.
It's been a pleasure to have you here, Mr. Khalid. Thank you for your time and hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.